Hi, welcome back to the channel. Michelle, and today I'm going to be sharing my curriculum picks for the 2024-2025 school year for my 7-year-old daughter. So she is one of those that's between grade levels. She's an asynchronous learner, so in different subject areas she's in 2nd grade, and other subjects she's in 3rd grade. So I'm going to show you what we'll be doing for her specifically this school year. So first I want to start out with her independent work. So we are going on our 4th year of homeschooling, and she's been homeschooling since the beginning. So for her 2nd/3rd grade year, independent work, we've been using Math Mammoth's review sheets. So they offer grade level review, and I will link it down below if you want to check it out. I bought the entire package when I was on Homeschool Boss for a certain percentage off. So I have like 1st grade through 7th, I believe. So I have it for my oldest and my middle child. So she has been doing the review for 2nd grade. And I just print these out in 6 weeks increments, and she'll go through that amount. So I just continually print out as she's gone through them. But she's currently working through the 2nd grade unit. And again, I'm not using the Math Mammoth skills to learn new concepts, is just for review practice. So you can see the pages are not long at all, and she really does actually enjoy them. Usually if I leave her alone, if I'm helping one of my other kids, she'll just keep doing them unless I tell her to stop. So she does actually enjoy it, but she really does enjoy math. She enjoys the puzzle aspect of trying to figure things out. So she will do one of those a day. Another thing she'll be doing independently is handwriting. So I'm going to have her switch between, she's finishing up this trophies practice book from grade 1, this is volume 2, and I'm using this as not necessarily phonics practice, but I do enjoy that it does have that, but handwriting practice as well. So to kind of break it up and make it more interesting. So she's practicing phonics and handwriting as well, so a lot of fill in the blanks. So 1 week she'll do that, and then the next week I'm going to have her switch off and do the handwriting without tears, printing power. I believe this is the 2nd grade. So we're going to try to get those letters a little bit smaller. So I'm going to have her switch off from those just to break it up a little. The only other thing I will have, which I don't have yet, it's actually coming in a couple days, but I'll put up a picture up here, is this Dyslexia Workbook. I don't know if my daughter has dyslexia. I've never had her tested for it, but a friend of mine who's also a homeschooler, her daughter was diagnosed with dyslexia, and this is a workbook they used, and it's to help with letter reversal. So specifically D, B, P, which is something she does struggle with, whether or not she has dyslexia or not. She still struggles with letter reversal and number reversal. So I'm going to start implementing some of these workbooks to kind of help correct that letter reversal, because we've done a lot of practice over the years, and she just needs repetitive practice to kind of break that habit and really see the difference between those specific letters. So that is something that will be cycled into her independent work as well. So next is math. So we will continue with dimensions. We've done dimensions with her since the very beginning. Nothing's changed with that. She's about halfway through 2A. We do the textbook, workbook, and then she does do the test. She's done really well with this program and continues to do well. I do anticipate we will be getting 2B as well, and we'll finish up the entire level 2 this coming year. So next is English language arts. So for reading instruction, she will continue with All About Reading level 3. She is there right now. So I do anticipate we will finish this coming year. I do have everything of that is sorted. I got that from another homeschool mom, so luckily I didn't have to cut anything out. She'll continue All About Reading level 3. It's been going well. We're making progress. So another thing we will be doing that we introduced this past summer was first language lessons. So she does have some experience with writing, with core knowledge. She has some experience with grammar, with both using the trophies and journeys books we've used in the past. She's had little exposure here and there, but she hasn't had any direct instruction, specific curriculum aimed at any grammar or writing. So I picked up first language lessons for the Well-Trained Mind level 1, specifically because this is a child that does extremely well with repetition, especially with her ADHD brain. I found that constant small review is really beneficial for her working memory. So we've been trialing this out, and she's doing really well with it, and she really likes it. So again, she really thrives on repetition, so we will continue to do this throughout the year, and when she finishes level 1, we'll get into level 2, but that is a new addition. Another thing we will continue is core knowledge, language arts grade 3, and I'll take you to my computer to see that. This is core knowledge grade 3 language arts. She's used this since kindergarten, and it's worked really well for her, especially with a child that struggles with reading. The comprehension work, the vocabulary in here, I'll link up above the map test we had done this end of the last school year that showed that she really excelled in these areas. I think that a large part is due to core knowledge, so contextual knowledge is really important. Background knowledge is really important when someone with ADHD, when they struggle with working memory. So what we will be covering this year is Classic Tales, The Wind in the Willows, which is interesting because my oldest will also be doing The Wind in the Willows for one of her language arts. Classification of animals, the human body, ancient Rome, light and sound. So you can see we're getting history and science and literature all in here. Someone posted in a comment previously if my daughter had trouble transitioning from different units, because obviously going from the ancient Roman civilization to a science unit, light and sound, she's never had trouble transitioning. And I think especially at this age, their learning isn't necessarily linear. They're not seeing it in a timeline approach. So she's never had issues with that. And one thing I should mention with the language arts units is we only do the domains, not the skill levels. For kindergarten through 3rd grade, core knowledge splits its language arts units into skills and into the domains, the listening and learning domains. We do the listening and learning domains because we obviously, as you can see from what I was talking about before, have other options to hit the skill level, but you can do both at the same time if that's what you wish to do. We just use it for the vocabulary, the comprehension, background knowledge. So we will be doing the Vikings, astronomy, the solar system, Native Americans, regions and cultures, European exploration of North America, colonial America, ecology. You can see this goes into the different skill levels. But those are the areas we'll be covering in core knowledge language arts. Again, we only do the listening and learning strands. And one thing I did want to point about core knowledge, that although we only do the listening and learning strands, there is writing instruction introduced into it. And I wanted to bring this to a point that I was recently reading The Writing Revolution because I'm looking for writing ideas for this particular child later in the year. And core knowledge does utilize some of the techniques in Writing Revolution. So she has been exposed to certain types of writing techniques and very much the first language lessons as well, the very forming a sentence type thing. So one thing about core knowledge is it really does do a good job bringing different resources into one. So she has been exposed to that, but I do anticipate somewhere during the middle to end of the school year, we will be introducing a formal writing curriculum for her. And I'm still debating on what I'll use for that, but I will update as soon as I make a decision. And it largely depends on where she's at. I'm not going to introduce writing, and I specifically have waited to introduce writing with this particular child because she struggled with reading, and I didn't want to overpile and give her too much when she was struggling in a certain area. So now that she's doing well in reading and language arts, I want to slowly start introducing it, but I also have to be mindful of how this child learns. She's very different than my oldest, and her brain works very differently than mine. So I'm really having to explore different avenues for this kid, which is great that it's expanding my teaching abilities, but really teaching to the child I have in front of me. So I will continue to look at different resources, and when she's ready, I will implement a more formal writing curriculum for her. But I just wanted to mention that core knowledge does incorporate some of this already. So the other thing she'll be doing is Spanish. She has started this already, so in School Spanish Book 2, we do this once a week and we practice the vocabulary. She makes index cards from the vocabulary, we practice those daily. And then we just try to use Spanish more frequently around our house. We did get the TalkBox Mom Homeschool Language book, not the box, not the program, just the phrase book. And we've been using that, we've been picking out certain phrases, trying to just implement it more in our daily life. I took Spanish in high school and college. I'm not fluent in it in any means, but I can definitely say basic phrases and sentences. I can also read and write it pretty well. So I don't feel like I need a lot of extra support in that area, but she's enjoyed Song School Spanish Book 1, so I anticipate she'll enjoy Book 2, and so far what we've done, she's enjoyed. The only other thing she'll be doing is daily reading, and this is something that she has decided to do upon herself. Every night before bed, she chooses a book to read. She can usually read it alone now. She's started to pick up books by herself and read them before bed, or she can choose to read them with us if it's a harder book or a more challenging book and she needs some help with that. But that's starting the daily reading, and that was on her own accord. That is a goal she made for herself. So she's been doing really well with it, and it's definitely helped with her reading. So she will, of course, participate in our group activities, which will be a completely separate video because I do like to section my videos out. It just makes it easier. She will be participating in our co-op this coming year as well. And then any outside activities, she'll be doing gymnastics. That is her chosen activity. I do limit my kids to one activity just because I'm not a taxi, and 2, I'm not made of money. So that is what she continues to do. She will also participate in our Lego coding class, and that is something the library puts on and has an instructor. I am just there to drop kids off and help as necessary. I'm no way an instructor or any of that. I'm just a helper or an aide at that point. So she will, I anticipate, be doing that this year. I do not get the information for it until fall, so I can't really talk more about that. But she will, if that program is available through the library again, be doing Lego coding, which she really enjoyed learning coding this last year in the summer, and she's got into different coding programs. And again, she really likes math, she really likes repetition, so that kind of stuff is just right up her alley. But those are my plans for my 7-year-old for her 2nd/3rd grade year. If you have any specific questions about anything I talked about, leave them in the comments below. If not, thank you for watching.